Hello everyone, may the 4th be with you. Today is Star Wars Day. Let's face it, it's Star Wars month with the month of May. And regardless how you feel about Star Wars, whichever generation you grew up in, you gotta admit, there has been some amazing fan film work. Star Wars has a devoted fan base, and I just love seeing what people create. And as you know, there's a plethora of fan films. But here are 20 fan films that I highly recommend watching for May the 4th. This isn't going to be a ranking, this is just recommendations. There is a bunch of fan films, and I know there's plenty that I have missed or have not seen. So if you have a favorite fan film that is not on this list, feel free to share it down in the comments below. Of course, the obvious is Ryan versus Dorkman. 1 and 2. I love that first one with the Dark City soundtrack. Yeah, Ryan Reber. He's a legend. I mean, that's like the earliest YouTube video I remember watching, and it like started off the whole saber competition stuff you see online. That goes all the way to Ryan versus Brandon 2. There's that one shot where they go around them, and what can I say? This is a template for fan lightsaber duels, and yeah, if you didn't want to be a fighter pilot, you want to be a Jedi. Seriously, if you're a fan of Star Wars, those are the two things you want to be, and I love seeing these films. They're kind of like unconventional Star Wars films. They're not in the universe, yet they use all the rules of the universe. After that would be Star Wars Scene 38 Reimagined. This does get a little outlandish, but you gotta admit, with the limitations of technology and how they filmed it, the Obi-Wan versus Darth Vader fight is very different. Of course, it's there emotionally, but as far as choreography, they've really improved it with the subsequent films. So they basically kind of make the fight feel more like the prequels, and I love it. You know, it is a little bit outlandish at times and out of place, but it's a cool reimagining of the Obi-Wan Darth Vader duel. Speaking of Kenobi, before Disney's Kenobi, we had Kenobi that was made by Jamie Costa. He plays Ben Kenobi, and it's pretty much about the time that the Empire almost attacked Luke Skywalker. It's about Obi-Wan saving Luke when he was a child. Hopefully we get to see that play out in the new Disney Plus show later in the month. But it's an excellent film, and very much in the style of like the originals. You have another actor and actress play Uncle Owen and Aunt Beru. I love it. I love seeing young Luke and Obi-Wan coming to the rescue, but then kind of like awaiting the time when Luke has to rise up and become a Jedi Knight like his father before him. After that, many Star Wars fans and YouTubers may be familiar with Star Wars Theories Vader Episode 1. Shards of the Past and the Mace Windu Return are two excellent episodes. Shards of the Past pretty much shows his conflict with being this apprentice of the Emperor. He kind of wants to kill the Emperor. He's upset about what happened with Padme. There's conflict within him, and we get to see that present in this film. The quality is superb. It is a well-done film. He has to go back to Naboo, and of course Padme is buried there. But in the second episode, it's like a cinematic, kind of like a CGI cinematic, and it's Mace Windu's return, which is a cool concept. I mean, he died, but then you didn't exactly see him all the way die. He could have landed somewhere still injured. Who knows? It's a cool possibility of a what if. And if you can bring Emperor Palpatine back after him being thrown down the Death Star shaft, there's no reason why you can't bring Mace Windu back. You might as well. Speaking of Vader visiting Naboo and Padme's grave, there's an excellent film recently called Star Wars Fallen Angel that is made by Alex S189 and James Duncan. I like this. It's a CGI film where he goes to Naboo and he reflects upon his past over Padme's grave, and he basically kills these rebel soldiers. I love it. We get to see Vader unmasked, and it's just a tragic moment with Vader and the person who used to be Anakin Skywalker before Vader consumed him and killed him, you know. Next up is Apex, a film by Michael Yadvish. I love it. This is up for one of the saber competitions, and it is an excellent lightsaber battle. They're after this triangle thing, yeah. They're after this holocron. And overall, it has some brilliant cinematography, and it's a lightsaber duel that also takes place at nighttime and in rain, so it's even more impressive to say the least. And speaking of the Force being strong, there's another fan film called Huschino by Stephen Vitale, and it is a wonderful, wonderful film. It's about this apprentice who's reflecting on her memories, training with her master. We get to see how she becomes blind, but throughout the process of the short film, she's trying to reconstruct a lightsaber through the Force, and then we get to see flashbacks of how she got to that moment. And overall, it shows you how this apprentice does things differently than her master, and I love it. Speaking of saber duels in the woods, we also have Dark Jedi. I hope I'm pronouncing this right. We have Lorenz Hideyoshi Ruri. I hope I pronounced that right. I might have mispronounced that, but it's a cool fan film where these two people are fighting Jedi Sith, and it's like a dark Jedi. You know, if you can't be all the way to the light side, you might be closer to the dark side, and it's a cool duel that deals with character conflict and allegiances changing and stuff just happening in and out of nowhere. It's a really great short film, and I love the cinematography, and choreography is kick-ass. Next up, I have some CG recommendations from director Ryan Fletcher. He did a film called Escalation and Flight of the Valiant, and he does a lot of like CG dogfights, but I love it. If you love stuff like Rogue Squadron, the books, the video game from GameCube, or Squadrons, you're going to love this. It's basically space battles. Next up, we have The Dark Resurgence from Mike the Marine. This is an awesome short film. If you like stuff with Kylo Ren and the sequels, and if you like stuff with the Knights of the Old Republic, you're going to dig this film. It involves a Sith Lord named Lord Vicus, and he's fighting a Jedi, and he actually killed this Jedi's Padawan in the past, and they're dueling again after that happened. Ooh, it is an awesome short film, and it definitely, again, gave me some like Kylo Ren vibes meets like KOTOR. It definitely is more like KOTOR. Speaking of saber duels, we have Darth Maul, The Apprentice by Sean Boo. Darth Maul Apprentice is great. I mean, it's a Darth Maul fan film, and Darth Maul is easily one of the best characters of the prequels. My favorite character from Episode 1. He's just a cool character, and he's so villainous, and we get to see Darth Maul here just fight a bunch of people. And what more can you ask for? Seriously. Changing it up a bit, we're going to go with real-world stuff with the creator of Star Wars, George Lucas. There's a wonderful, hilarious fan trailer. It's a fan trailer. It's not really a fan film, but I count it because it's fan work, called George Lucas Strikes Back, and it pretty much implies that the real George Lucas was captured and he was replaced with an imposter who then made the prequel trilogies. And it's George Lucas being imprisoned for like 2 decades, and he sees what happened to Star Wars and his legacy, and it's him getting out and getting revenge over everyone of what happened with the prequels. There's some hilarious references to the special edition changes. I mean, it's funny. Any Star Wars fan, no matter what age you are, you're gonna love it. Like I wish it was a real film. They should make it a real film and get the real George Lucas to play it. Seriously, it's that good. Next up is one of my all-time favorite films of recent memory, and it's Star Wars Origins from director Phil Hawkins. This is like Indy and Star Wars combined. It's this couple in World War II, and they're dealing with like Nazis hunting them down, and they find this treasure, but you see all these hieroglyphics and stuff in a pyramid, and it's basically the scrolls of like the story of Star Wars. The parents, this couple is almost like Indy, and their son is named George, and she says, "I'll tell George everything." So it implies it's like George Lucas's parents, and that's how he got the idea for Indiana Jones and Star Wars. That's probably not how it happened, but it's so cool and original that it's just like, this is made with the utmost love. And what better way to combine the worlds of Indiana Jones and Star Wars into one than with the fan film Star Wars Origins? Then we have an all-time classic from 1999, George Lucas in Love by Joe Nussbaum. Oh my God. I saw this in film school, and I absolutely love it. It's a great lesson of like, if you don't know what to write, write what you know. But it's pretty much about George Lucas being a film student, falling in love, and then he's writing stuff about Star Wars. And it's not Star Wars yet. He's trying to figure out what to do, and stuff around him influences him. There's a fat guy that's eating Pizza Hut, and that inspires like Jabba the Hutt. The woman he's in love with is named Marion, like Marion Ravenwood, and then she has like the roles of hair like Princess Leia. It's awesome seeing like George Lucas, a young George Lucas influenced by stuff, but then also it's a good lesson for screenwriters and aspiring filmmakers. Write and do what you know. Next up, we have 2 CGI films that I highly recommend. First being Star Wars Tragedy of the Chosen One by Ian Luke, Productions. He made something that bridged the gap between the original trilogy and the sequels, but he actually gave better reasoning for Luke to try to kill Kylo. Snoke influenced him. Snoke's more powerful than the Emperor, and it shows Luke Skywalker's guilt. It shows Luke confront Leia saying Ben has gone to the dark side. And it's like Luke's turmoil of like trying to save Kylo Ren's soul, trying to save Ben Solo's soul, and he fails. And we get to see Force ghosts of Obi-Wan, Yoda, hear Anakin's voice. And it's just done better. Like, that wasn't the best story, but the way it's presented here is better. Like, Luke felt like he failed, but it was in a way where it wasn't him just trying to kill his nephew in his sleep. It's like, no, he was manipulated and he was vulnerable. And in a way, he has to basically hold out hope that there's still good in him, the way he did with Vader. And last but not least is a project that Darth Angelus did. And it is a CGI adaptation of Timothy Zahn's Heir to the Empire. It's in different parts. It's on YouTube. And I love it. He pretty much adapted each chapter. And this is the closest we're going to get to an episode 7. A true episode 7. If you were like me and felt a bit disappointed and heartbroken after what Disney did with the characters and the story, watch this film. It would seriously mend some wounds. And I just wonder what could have been. Overall, the sequel trilogy is the biggest missed opportunity, and it was a sin, a cardinal sin, that they did not have Luke, Han, and Leia reunite when they're all around. And it's heartbreaking, but you know what? The Mandalorians here, it reminded me why I fell in love with Star Wars. The video games are really picking up steam now. And Star Wars is always going to have its highs and lows, each generation. And I've come to the point where I've accepted what is. And I have faith and hope that in the future there'll be more of the Star Wars I love. But for people who are like, it killed my childhood, I'm like, no, it's still here. I still count the expanded universe, even though it's not canon. I don't care. People are like, George Lucas didn't write it, it's not canon. Well, guess what? He didn't write the sequels. So, there you go. Regardless, we all have Star Wars in our hearts. No matter what version it is, what canon, which characters, what generation, Star Wars is a part of us. It's everywhere around us, just like the Force. So, with that being said, I hope you enjoy those fan films, and let me know down in the comments below, do you have any fan film recommendations? Share some fan films I did not mention. I want to see more. And I wouldn't mind making one day, so let me know some of your favorite fan films and share some that I haven't seen before. In the meantime, you can subscribe for more videos and check out these other Star Wars related videos for more content. Stay safe and healthy, everyone, and remember, the Force will be with you always.